'Twas the night before Christmas, silent with no moans, no electronic was running, not even a phone. The stockings were hung by the oven with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were restless, not knowing what to do, while visions of video games called to them too. And Mama in her slippers and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out of the lawn, a scream or two rose. I sprang from the bed to see what they would show. Away to the door, I ran with pure glee, turned open the knob and saw a Christmas tree. Every neighbor and parent were standing in snow, waiting in front of a Christmas-like glow, and my friend stood. Proudly he exclaims, "Take a breath, for now we have video games." Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another FrameGame. Today I will be reviewing another game for my Holiday Extravaganza Review List Finale! This time I will be going over the game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In this review, I'll be covering graphics, audio, gameplay, and overall experience. So without further ado, let's dive into the graphics. The graphics of this game is very interesting and more artsy than I was expecting. However, this turns out to be a really good thing, as I will soon explain. The first things I distinctly noticed is obviously the menus. These all look very slick and are designed well to make navigation easy and as painless as possible. On top of this, the character selection screen is still as slick and professional looking as ever. But this is simply the icing on the cake. To really analyze the graphics, we need to dive into the game itself. The first thing I checked out was the story mode, which proved to be very interesting. The overall world map has a sketched painting sort of style, making the concept of a toy/board game aesthetic return from the Nintendo 64. The original revolved around a concept of Mario and the others being toys out of a chest for us to use in an epic battle game. So the concept of a painting and drawn world map makes a lot of sense with the game franchise as a whole. Not only this, but the artwork itself looks very good. You can easily tell how much love and care they took in creating these different pieces. On top of this, the individual spirits have their own unique artwork, so not only are you obtaining new abilities, you are also collecting additional game art. This is a very satisfying portion of the game, and each spirit is truly designed with care. Then we have the game itself, which proved to be just as magnificent as I was hoping. The visuals and animations of each stage are masterfully designed, while the character models are stylistic and remain true to their original designs. On top of this, each character has many color and customizable options, like putting a hat on Pikachu. This was a very nice touch, and I was satisfied to see the return of this feature. Also, they made the original stages from the Nintendo 64 and whatnot very nice and slick. Each stage looks so much nicer than I remember, making battling on them feel modern, as if I were experiencing the stage for the first time. So overall, I am going to give the graphics a 5 out of 5 slimes. It's clear that they wanted us to enjoy this game, and it shines clearly through the artwork and design of everything in the game. Anyways, let's move on to the audio. The audio in this game is strong and robust. There are many different songs in the soundtrack, way more than most games I have ever seen. Not only do they have all the musical tracks back from the original games, but they have many more new musical tracks alongside the old. And trust me when I say you shouldn't count these new songs out, because they are just as good if not better than some of the originals. On top of this, they added a new feature where you can make your own musical playlist while you play your matches. This allowed me to listen to absolutely any song I want while just playing against comms in order to unlock the entire roster of characters. This kept my gaming experience from getting too static, not to mention the sounds of the game are truly magnificent. This game's audio is so beyond good, it's not even funny. At first I thought Spider-Man's audio was the best I'd ever heard in a game, but this one truly takes the cake. Though it may not have voice acting, the audio for each and every character's moves are unique in their own special ways. They even got the same sound effect from Breath of the Wild's bombs. Talk about attention to detail. Also, every character has their own voices when it comes to taunting, taking damage, or attacking, allowing for a very diverse experience. Thus, I am also going to give this category a 5 out of 5 slimes. The sound is not only well done, but the audio is precisely in place, making everything and anything you do fit the situation perfectly. With this out of the way, let's move on to the gameplay. The gameplay, I must say, is the best I've ever experienced out of a Smash Bros. Game ever. The moves feel snappier, but they also feel much more balanced than they had ever been before. It's clear that Nintendo's learned from the previous experience and improved on everything. I'm talking the mini-games like hitting a punching bag, local co-op play, as well as the main campaign. However, I did hear that the online multiplayer is a bit on the laggy and glitchy side, though I haven't played that, so I can't say either way. What I can say is that out of everything I've played, the main campaign is certainly my favorite part of the game. I noticed nearly immediately how the campaign is much more in-depth and complex than any other campaign that's come before it. Usually Smash Bros. Games have the most lackluster and simple campaigns out of nearly any games I've ever played. However, in this one, there are world manipulation mechanics along with split paths allowing for much more replayability. On top of this, each battle you face will either unlock a new spirit to use or unlock a whole new character to fight with. This made each and every battle worthwhile, and I always felt rewarded for defeating every opponent I came across. However, sometimes when you defeat a foe, you end up unlocking either a training dojo or a store. Stores were cool because the items they sell seemed to randomly change periodically. Not only did this give me a reason to return periodically, but sometimes there would even be sales for certain spirits, allowing me to get them on the cheap. The dojos were also a rather welcome addition as they allowed me to train and level up spirits over time when I wasn't using them in battles. Thus, instead of just being able to only power up one spirit at a time, this enabled me to power a vast amount of spirits all at once. Not only this, but each dojo differed, teaching my spirits a specialized technique that would even have a chance to spawn an additional ability for my spirit. At first I was concerned with this since I thought, what if I get an ability that I don't want a spirit to have? Well, luckily Nintendo took that into consideration and allowed for a Slowpoke Dojo where any undesired abilities can be forgotten. Thus my fear of training spirits turned into an absolute joy. To be honest, I could keep going on to explain how fantastic other aspects of the main campaign are, but I think I'll call it there as to avoid any potential spoilers that may arise. So with this, I will give the gameplay a rating of 5 out of 5 slimes. The gameplay feels just as solid as it did in previous games, if not better, while diversifying moves even more for each character. On top of this, Nintendo went above and beyond when it comes to the campaign, not only making it feel worthwhile, but also increases its overall replayability. With this covered, let's slide over to the overall experience. I must say this game is very pleasing. The music was solid and rememberable, while the visuals retained their overall Smash Bros. Quality and style. On top of this, the gameplay is just as satisfying, if not more so, than all other Smash Bros. To date. Thus, I am going to give the overall experience a 5 out of 5 slimes. If there was ever a Smash Bros. Game to play, this certainly is it. I would suggest you buy this game for sure, because it's something you don't want to miss. So thank you all so much for watching. Remember that if you missed them, you can find my previous Holiday Extravaganza Review List videos down in the description below. And if you want to be notified on future videos that I will be making, feel free to subscribe for more.